My name is Ron Omer.
Sean Keeley.
The reason that I wanted to be a big brother was that I never anticipated leaving my hometown of Quincy, and all of a sudden I was in Springfield. I had two younger brothers, one 6 years younger and another 12 years younger, that I hadn't really spent as much time with as I'd like to have, or been as good a big brother as I would have liked to have. And that was my motivation for seeking out Big Brother, Big Sister here in Springfield.
Got involved with Big Brother, Big Sister when I was 5. My mother put me in the program. We just moved here from Texas.
I was matched with Sean Keeley, who at that time was a little young for the program. I believe he was 5.5 years old. His mother, Nancy, and his father were divorced. His father was in Texas, and Sean didn't get to see him so often.
And I've got a big family, but mostly women in the family. And I had a grandfather that was around the corner, but suffered from emphysema, couldn't get around too much.
And his mother was concerned that there wasn't a strong male image in Sean's life. So that was their motivation for getting Sean into the Big Brother, Big Sister organization. The first time we got together, it was winter time. It was at my house. Sean wasn't a real big kid at 5.5.
I remember him coming up to the porch and wondering what this guy would look like, and me being about 3.5 feet tall, he was like a really tall guy to me.
Picked him up at his house and went to my house, and I had a little house in Leland Grove, and again I had a young dog at that point in time, which was an Old English sheepdog. And one of our first activities that I recall was that we were going to take Charlie, the Old English sheepdog, out for a walk. It was slick and snowy, etc., and I had the dog on the leash, and Sean kept asking me if he could hold the leash, and I said, well, Sean, I said, he's a puppy, and even though he's still big, and I'm afraid he'll pull you down. And Sean kept insisting. When Sean got something in his mind, and so by golly, I made the decision to give him the leash. And Charlie made a couple of lunges, and Sean went straight out on his belly onto the sidewalk, but never let go of the leash. He held on to that until I could catch up with him. And I think he shows that kind of stay with itness even in today. So,
a lot of the earlier stuff, it's just kind of spotty. But I do remember lots of things, just probably not in the right order that they happened. But yeah, I do remember hanging out with Ron a lot.
You have to realize this was about 35 years ago. But I know that we hit it off, and we did a lot of things together. And
there was a lot of times going out and getting pizza, and we were both big fans of pizza, and we did that often, and that was, I would never complain about that. And
the activities could be really anything that the Big Brother determined, okay? So we didn't always do something special.
Going to movies a lot.
And camping and canoeing.
And I can remember going out there and riding on horses.
Sometimes even a little work project.
Ron and Deneen got a place of their own in the country. They had a lot of property, and I can remember going out there and just doing yard work. He had a lot of grass to mow. I remember mowing the grass. I remember he had the camper to his truck, was sitting on the ground one day, and he went down there to get something out of there or trim the grass, and he came screaming at that thing, "You!" And there's a snake down there. Came slithering out. I thought that was the funniest thing I ever saw.
Maybe an older child at that point in time would have been more challenging. Sean wasn't a challenge. He was up for whatever I thought was a good idea to do. So, well, one of the things I know that we did, I have a specific memory that we went camping. And we went camping at Siloam Springs State Park, which is over not too far from Quincy. And I had contacted my youngest brother, again, who's 12 years younger than me, and invited him over for dinner. And I had bought some T-bone steaks and was grilling them out. And Sean and Rick, my brother and I, and we're enjoying those. It was a beautiful evening, and as we sit down to eat, Sean asked to pass the mustard, and he squirted mustard all over that T-bone steak, and I thought my younger brother, who was going to fall off the end of the picnic bench, he said something to me about Sean putting that mustard all over such an expensive steak, and I said, oh no, he likes mustard. He puts mustard on everything, you know.
I know when I was a kid, I liked condiments and different things on my food, and I was always messing with what was served me. I had to do something different with it. I do recall that.
I think probably that's changed a little over the years, and I'm sure he wouldn't want everybody in Springfield to hear that story, but he had definite likes even in those days when it came to food, and it didn't deter him that everybody else might not approve.
The most important thing about having a big brother was the consistency of the relationship. You know, he was always there.
It's been such a positive. With Sean, I have 2 daughters, okay, and enjoyed being able to have daughters. Sean's kind of the son I never had.
And, you know, my mother was really good at making sure Ron was involved in like special events in our lives, and Ron certainly invited us into the special events in his life.
I asked him to be an usher in my wedding, and I think he was about 15.
So it was really a family thing, and it was somebody that you could rely on.
I had a chance to have some kind of a male impact on a young boy that during those years that I'll never have in my life. So in that regard, it was very special. Yeah.
I learned to understand about building relationships with people and bonding, and that's something I think I've carried throughout. I've had most of my friends since the day I've met them.
Well, I hope that he picked up on the things that I feel are important in life and a lifestyle, and honesty, and hard work, and how important relationships are.
And it's definitely instilled a good work ethic in me too.
He's got a beautiful wife and 2 children, and a very popular business here at Ross Isaacs, and I'd like to think that something I said or did along the way might have contributed to that kind of success.
I remember Ron and Deneen had asked me if I could write a letter because they wanted to adopt a child, and I was very honored, and I said I think he'd make a great dad because he did great with me.
I got a good feeling about myself and my involvement with Big Brother Big Sister, and still support through Bowl for Kids' sake and in other ways. It's been a number of years. I spent a number of years on the board, but Sean was my only relationship.
Little moments, big magic. I would think that's probably an accurate phrase. You know, I can't remember things in the chronological order as they happen, but I do remember things, and they are you know, big milestones in my life. They're memories that I like to share, and I'm proud to be a part of. It was a great program. I did benefit from that, and you know, I know Ron said that he hoped he had some influence in me in this restaurant. He certainly did. You know, there was a sense of consistency and a work ethic that you know, I inherited from him and my mother, and I don't think if I'd had that solid background, I'd have been able to pull this off or been successful. I may have been able to do it, but not be as successful as I am.